Because I know, like, yes, you like there's a lot more experience, but I think like it's more corrupt with certain, like with media and stuff like that, and kids and stuff like that. Like I don't know what you're able to do and not do as much of anymore. So
That's
I'm
a hard
curious.
question to answer.
Yeah.
It's possibly
time.
both. So I can go over what's easier. Classroom management when I started was extremely challenging. So I remember teaching grade 12 English, right, in my first year. And thankfully I had somebody to set me up and show me how to do that. Nice. But it was a challenging group.
Yeah.
Lots of behavior problems. So lots of talking back, lots of challenging. But I mean, I looked like I was their age.
Right. Yeah.
And I was totally new. So I wasn't confident. And I think the students will
get
sense
that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it was stressful.
Yeah.
There were many days I came home not liking my job when I first started. And my good buddy, who was like the top of our class at Nipissing, we talked at Christmas. It's like, Colin, this is shit. I hate this. And I'm like, yeah, me too. But I think it was because it was our first year and we were just learning, and I was up till 11 every night. I only had 2 classes, and yet I'm up to 11 every night making lesson plans.
Yeah.
The kids were hard to manage.
Yeah.
I didn't have the skills. I was learning. So yeah, it was stressful. And I think most people go through that in most jobs, right? When you start out, there's a learning curve. And you don't know the people yet. You don't really know what you're doing. So you're figuring it out. Anyways, it was tough. I still, to this day, say it was a great year. But I would say it took me about half a year to figure it out and find my groove. So the classroom management really is what I was talking about, was challenging. Today, if I walked into that class, that same class, there would be potentially no classroom management to deal with, especially with a senior group.
Yeah.
Because when I walk in, they wouldn't be throwing paper or spitballs or trying to jump out the window. What would they be doing exactly?
Yeah,
it's just
eyes on
like the movie WALL-E. Their faces are all in the screens.
Yeah.
Unless you make it so that their faces aren't in the screens.
Yeah.
Right. But that is the default today. Their faces are in the screens.
Interesting.
So classroom management is a different game, and in some ways it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's easier if you need it to be, if you want it to be, or if you're lazy, because you don't have to take them away. You can just leave. If you don't take the screens away, their faces will be in the screens. And if there's a troubled kid, or kid rather who's difficult, and you're tired, and you see he's on the screen, you can leave him on the screen, and he won't be a problem.
Yeah.
Not a good solution.
No. It's temporary, but
that
even then,
it's not an admirable tactic, but it's still it's unfortunately used. Now so what you've got to do with a class is you've got to get those screens away from them, and have them put them away. Now the class does not devolve into what it used to.
Right.
I wouldn't say they immediately become challenging.
Yeah.
They almost don't know what to do. So I find the classes are much more quiet than they used to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, and you can also like channel the.
Well, it's like sometimes you don't even know if you're. Well, sometimes you don't even know if you're making an impact.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're unresponsive sometimes. I mean, at the beginning. Usually, once you teach for a while, this particular group, you figure it out.
You can understand.
And they figure you out, you figure them out, and it'll work.
I thought I would never be fine.